I'm quite possibly the last person you would imagine needing to talk about diversity in literature. I'm quite obviously a very pale white woman. I am middle class. I am 31. I am from the southern states. I'm a Christian living in the Bible Belt. So, what could I need more diversity for, other than the fact that I know that not everybody is white, not everybody is middle class, not everybody is conservative, not everybody is me. Yes, I am a very conservative person, or at least more conservative than a lot of you, although in my area, I am more of a rebel. Um, but there it is. I'm still a 31-year-old woman, so I am not of color. I am not gay. I'm not a lesbian. I'm not bi. I'm not transgendered. I'm not disabled. I'm not of a different nationality, unless you count the fact that I'm from Texas. Um, so, what can I say about the subject? The answer is not much. When I see you guys talking about the need for more diversity, I'm about 95% correct every time I click on a video or a blog post because I see who is producing this content and I say, well, they're going to talk about the need for more LGBTQ characters, the need for more characters of color or of different nationalities, or disabled characters, or mentally disabled characters. And I'm typically correct. But I also am an author, and I see a lot of people asking questions like, why is it so difficult? Just write a really cool character and then make them gay, make them bi, make them disabled, make them black, or make them Asian, or make them Indian, or make them whatever. My answer to you is I can write a really cool character, but I don't know how to make them into anything other than what they are. And I don't know how to make them into a different nationality because I'm not a different nationality. I don't know how to make them into disabled or into gay or into transgendered because I'm not. And I know that there are some authors who are simply phenomenal and can do that. They do the research, they get into discussions, they observe and interview people of those other communities, and they can then create a wonderful character and a wonderful world in which that character thrives. But for every one author that does that, there are 10 that get chopped up and raked over the coals because they don't do what your community wants them to do. There are authors like Jojo Moyes who writes a heart wrenching story that then becomes a popular motion picture, and the disabled community is just beating her up, hammering at her because her character then represents all of the disabled community, and it's not a character they want to represent them. They don't feel well represented. And we can talk about how much that shouldn't happen on either side of the coin. But in reality, it doesn't matter because I'm not part of that community. I can't tell you what to believe, and I'm not JoJo Moyes, and I can't tell her what to do. What I am is me, a single mother, a white woman from the South who that's what I know. So I write characters who are Southern. I write characters who are not gay or lesbian or transgendered because I don't know that world. I write characters who are not disabled because I don't know that world. And I don't ever want to write a character that misrepresents you because, well, I don't know your world. I know some of you and I love you. And I am so excited to get to know you better. And I don't ever want anything that I've written to make you feel poorly about yourself. to make your community upset. I don't want anything I've written to generalize or stigmatize a community. As an author, it is my job to create worlds that then allow you to escape the real world. And especially the LGBTQ community right now is concerned about the fact that there are not as many stories about gay characters or transgendered characters in middle grade and young adult fiction. Well, middle grade fiction is for kids about 8 or 9 years old to about 12 years old. And those kids, most of the time, are more concerned about the way their bodies are changing, about keeping up with homework as they're moving into upper elementary school, about what their friends are doing, and about whether or not they're going to get the new gaming system or get to go see the new movie. And whether or not they like the guy or girl next to them is not as big a concern for that age group, unless they are of the like less than 1% of kids where it is a big deal at their home and then becomes a big deal at school because of it. Those books aren't going to help nearly as many people. It will confuse more people, honestly. And I realize that as members of your community, you are concerned about that less than 1%. As a middle school teacher, so am I. But there are better ways to do it than to ask authors who don't understand your position to write it. Because then what happens is the publishing company gets a hold of it and they ask you to rework it. And what you get is a young adult book with yet another coming out story. If you want a story that is more towards what happened with you, if you want a story that is a more positive take on it, if you want any of that that I hear people asking for, start writing it. Write the short stories. Get your friends or people that you know from the community to write the story of how they came out or when they started learning about who they are, having the feelings. Write that story and write it on a middle grade level, because that's the way you're going to get what you want. Other than that, all that's going to happen is you're going to keep coming back and saying, why did we get another coming out story? Why aren't there more characters? Why? Well, it's because you haven't done it, because I can't do it for you. It's my job to write a world for my kids and for you to disappear into. And yes, you'll learn things. And yes, you will be able to handle things more easily because of what you've read. And you can go back to the real world and get through whatever it is that you were getting through. But it is not my job to write a book about what you're going through. It is your job to pass that information on to others. And I would love to read the book that you write, but I won't be doing it for you. And I won't be writing a book that destroys you. And I will not be writing a book that stigmatizes you, that generalizes you, or that otherwise creates a world that mirrors the one that we already live in. Because if I was just going to write a world just like the world that we're already in, there's no point in me doing it. It is my job to boost and to help, not to destroy. And I cannot boost and help by writing things I don't understand. That's why I don't write diversely. But if you want to let me interview you, talk about things with you, perhaps I can add more diversity into my newer stories. I love you all very much. Bye.